Welcome back to Crypto Spaces, back with another Monad update for you guys. Monad right now up 13% in the past 24 hours. In the past week or so, it's up 21%. And this is why I say DCA is always the way to go, man. If you bought Monad back down at that 1.8 cent, 1.7 cent level that it dropped to, you're already up 20% right now, right? And again, Monad is one of the few altcoins in the space that is actually going up in price, even with the pullbacks that it's had. You can't ignore the positive, price action whenever the market does turn green, right? Because the macro turned green just a little bit, and Monad is outperforming the rest of the macro market, right? For example, with Bitcoin, Bitcoin went back up to 89,000, up to 90,000. And Ethereum went back up to 3,000, and Monad is up 20%, right? This is what you want to look for, the coins that are outperforming the overall macro trend of the market, right? These are the coins you want to be positioned in, right? And again, with Monad as well, this is not a meme coin. This is not a, this is not a vaporwave. This is not just any other run-of-the-mill project. This is, again, one of the best layer 1 technologies that we've seen, because it was released, a lot recently. It was released recently, where the team worked on this thing for years, and they've been cultivating this thing for years, community, the technology, etc., right? So to have 10,000 TPS scalable TPS on an EVM project is like unlike anything we've ever seen with Monad, right? And this is why I say, like, this, in my opinion, if you're a retail investor, I'll keep reiterating this fact. If you have kids, you're making an honest living, you don't have time to be diving deep and researching crypto 24/7, trying to find the next, Solana meme coin that can 100x, right? If you don't have that type of time, a project like Monad is the perfect place for a retail investor to go to, because it's on Coinbase, it's on the open market for everyone to accumulate at times that they can, right? It gives people enough time to accumulate as well too. It's undervalued, right? It's not as big as like the Cardanos and the Solanas yet, right? So it has 10x to maybe 100x upside, right? That is possible here. 10x to 50x upside, right, is very possible here. And again, it's a newer project, so it doesn't have the bag holders from previous cycles, right? It's, in my opinion, it's in line for like, okay, I'm new, I'm in crypto. I don't have the time to be like looking on Dex Screener and all these different tools, these pump fund tools and all this thing 24/7. I got kids. As soon as I get home from work, I got to make sure my kids are okay, etc., right? Was a project that I could buy, and I just, buy it, every 5 days, every 3 to 5 days, and I just wait until it appreciates in price. That is still undervalued, that could still make me a good ROI, return on my investment. I think Monad is a perfect candidate for that, right? I think this is in the perfect spot for that, especially since it's on Coinbase as well, and the Coinbase ICO as well, right? One of the first Coinbase ICO projects as well. I think it's set up perfectly for someone like that, right? So again, like I said, man, the coins that are going like parabolic, it's all the kids under 25 years old, under 23 years old trading those coins, man. The ones that are, going crazy on Solana, on Dex Screener. I'm sure you guys don't even know what that is, right? A lot of you guys don't even know what Dex Screener is, but yeah, all those coins that are going crazy on Dex Screener, on DEXs, decentralized exchanges, right? Not Coinbase, decentralized exchanges. Those are coins you will not, in my opinion, the average person, the average investor in this space will not be able to win against those traders, right? These guys are like, and I've been in the space for a few years now, right? But these guys are like next level, man. They're next level. They give, hours and hours and hours at the day. They just buy things, lose money, until they get a massive win, right? So I see that as straight up, that is more gambling, right? In my opinion. With Monad, it's more investing. right? It's still a gamble, it's still risk involved, but it's more, investing here when it comes to Monad. So I think Monad is a great bet. Like I said, I think 100,000 Monad is a great bet. If you was paying attention, you was able to buy 100,000 Monad just recently for $1,800, right? $1,800 could have got you 100,000 Monad just so recently. And now 100,000 Monad is $2,183, right? But I think that is going to be a great investment. Why? Because I think Monad has the potential to get to $1, right? And obviously, if people are going to go, try to bring out their pitchforks every time I say Monad could get to $1, they're going to bring out their pitchforks. Well, let's be more conservative. Monad could get to 20 cents to 50 cents, which is very realistic, right? And if you have 100,000 Monad for $2,183 right now, $184, it goes to 20 cents. That's $20,000, 50 cents, $50,000, right? That is great. That is a great return on your investment, in my opinion. And I think that's very possible, right? If it really depends what we have this year, though, because just saw a recent tweet from Benjamin Cohen saying that this year is going to be bearish for Bitcoin and more than likely altcoins, right? And it will last until either the middle of the year or until the end of the year, right? Whereas we see CZ Binance from Champagne Zhao, founder of Binance BNB. You guys know him, right? I'm sure you do. He says it could be a super cycle this year for Bitcoin in 2026. So who's right? Who's right? Who will win? Place your bets. Place your bets, guys. But in that time, bear market or not, I'm just gonna use the time. Say, for example, we do enter a harsher bear market this year, and Monad comes down to 1 cent per Monad, or less than 1 cent per Monad. I could get 100,000 Monad for $800. I'm gonna be scooping up those prices. It comes down to less than $1,000 for 100,000 Monad. I will scoop up those prices if that happens, right? So, taking a look right here, you can see the growth is exponentially exploding here for Onchain, for Monad. This is Kuru Exchange. This is a decentralized exchange on Monad, trading hub for Monad. And as you can see, the transactions, the DEX volume, the transaction volume is going through the roof. So there is people that are using Monad and being onboarded to Monad. The on-chain users are going up, right? And this is what you like to see, man. People that are actually using the chain. In my previous videos, I talked to you guys about how to buy Monad memes. How to buy stuff on Monad, on chain. It doesn't just have to be memes, right? There's altcoins that are already there on Monad, like Lever Up, for example. You could, get some exposure to altcoins on Monad already, right? So, there's people that are using the chain, and as we can see with Kuru Exchange right here, that volume, the decentralized exchange volume, is starting to explode. So that interest is returning to the chain. So if you have some Monad, like I said, it's smart, in my opinion, to get some exposure to the ecosystem. Buy some memes on Monad, man. Even a couple $100 worth. I'm telling you, you could see a bonk. You ever see how bonk went from nothing to 4 billion market cap? And Dog with Hat went from nothing to 5 billion market cap, less than a million market cap, to 5 billion. You could see something similar to Monad. On Monad, I should say. You could see it with a couple of the memes on Monad. So, getting some exposure to the ecosystem, in my opinion, is also a good bet, right? So, Monad, in my opinion, looking pretty good here. Could see the W pattern, double bottom pattern play out. And we'll see how it goes. Take it day by day, right? As always, none of this is financial advice, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Thank y'all so much for all the support. Catch you in the next one.